the presence too of the Miss Carol Rose Brown, our director of the Jamaica Center for Tourism Innovation. I don't know if Mr. Miguel Arthurs is here. Yes, Miguel, you're here. Mr. Marlon Johnson, I see Dane Dennis from Hart, Keisha Lowe, Mick Keisha, of course, is here. Students, tourism leaders, a pleasant good morning to you all. Happy to have received that introduction from Dr. Darman. Dr. Darman is probably one of the smartest people I know. He's an electrical engineer for electrical engineers. You know, this man has a PhD, I think, in electrical engineering. Am I correct? From some university in North Carolina. But he didn't stop there. I believe he did postdoctoral studies too in renewable energy systems, I think, in Japan. So you understand that this man does enjoy his staying in school for the rest of his life. And that's okay. There are some people who choose that path, and we must congratulate Dr. Darman for choosing that path. So it is both an honor and a privilege to stand before you today at the Tourism Career Expo. I extend my deepest gratitude to UCC for organizing this pivotal event. These expos are more than just forums. They are springboards for the next generation of professionals who will drive Jamaica's continued tourism transformation. Today's theme, of course, is Tourism for All, exploring tourism and hospitality careers beyond the surface. It's not just timely, it is urgent as Jamaica's tourism industry is undergoing unprecedented expansion. And we need to go deeper, we need to think broader, we need to move faster in preparing for what lies ahead. So I want to challenge you to look beyond the surface roles often associated with tourism. I want you to understand that yes, we need great chefs, yes, we need hotel managers and tour guides, but we also need sustainability consultants. We need people who understand technology. We need innovators. We need people who understand culture. We need interpreters. We need entrepreneurs. We need creatives. We need critical thinkers. The world has changed fundamentally in the last several years. So as you know, tourism accounts for a big part of Jamaica's economy. We have about 175,000 people directly employed in the industry, and we have upwards of, say, 350,000 indirectly and induced, connected to tourism essentially. So it is a major source of foreign exchange. It's a magnet for investment. And tourism isn't just about hotels and resorts and villas. It's also connected to construction, lots of it. Banking and finance, insurance, manufacturing, agriculture, fisheries, the utilities, everything. So in 2024, we had about 4.1 million visitors, bringing in overall revenues of about 4.3 billion US dollars. And we're targeting about 5 million visitors within the next year. So it's a deeply interconnected sector. And as tourism grows, so does agriculture. As tourism grows, so does ground transportation. You need vehicles to bring the tourists from the airports to the hotels, from the hotels to the attractions and so on. Digital services, housing for staff, the creative economy. The multiplier effect, my friends, is significant. And the time now, I mean, we have a strong economy now. We expect the economy to grow by 2.2% in the fiscal year. We have the biggest net international reserves ever, 5.5 billion US dollars. Unemployment is at an historic low. Our debt to GDP ratio is about 68%. Inflation is within target. Our international rating agencies have a positive outlook on Jamaica. So it's a good time now, as it stands now, for growth and development. And that's really positive for your careers. So tourism expansion is inevitable. And what we're seeing now is the biggest expansion of hotel rooms and attractions ever in our history, really. Certainly over the last year or two, and continuing for the next 3 to 5 years. Just last year alone, we opened the Rio Palace Aquarelle in Trelawney, that's 753 rooms. We opened the Princess Resort in November last year, that's 1,000 rooms. They intend to add another 1,000 rooms, and also a casino, which they're hoping to get the license for within 12 months. We have the Hard Rock Montego Bay that's coming. That's going to be about 1,000 rooms. We have the Unico in Montego Bay now under construction. That's over 500 rooms. That's a luxury adults only resort. We have the Moon Palace that will be coming to Montego Bay too, with over 1,200 rooms on the Rose Hall corridor. We have the Harmony Cove development finally coming out of the ground soon, and possible groundbreaking in the middle of this year. That will include golf courses, attractions, hotels, everything at a high standard, and also a high pay standard, because the owners of that development are very keen on high paid, qualified, experienced workers. We have Bahia Principe with an over $1 billion expansion plan that we hope to break ground for also shortly. And we have, of course, Sandals, Guns River that opened up over the last year and a half. We have Royalton coming to St. Anne, yes. We hope to have that event in the middle of the year. We have Secrets also coming to St. Anne. We have Beaches Runaway Day. We have the Pinnacle in Montego Bay, which is currently under construction, which is a mixed residential resort development. And we have a ton of other projects that are to come, including Viva Windham, a 900-room resort north of Niagara. So I just want to understand the kind of investments that are coming in an environment where we already have a relatively low unemployment rate. It means we need so many workers. It's unbelievable, really. But these developments are not just about rooms. They signal a transformation in how we design, build, and support tourism infrastructure and services. So there are going to be expanded opportunities, and I want to look beyond the hotel now. Look at the food and beverage production and supply. These hotels need food, they need beverages, they need that done, and there are companies that have done very well with that, but there's a need for more persons in that business. Interior design and construction management is also a big deal. Entertainment and cultural experiences, very important. And of course, agriculture and fisheries. The food, a lot of the food, the fruits, the vegetables, the meats, a lot of it is produced here. Some of it has to be imported. What can't be produced here naturally has to be imported. But also, we simply do not have the capacity to effectively supply the tourism sector right now. Imagine when these thousands of food rooms come on stream. And of course, logistics. And of course, ground transportation. I have seen so many people who have gone into the ground transportation business and do very well for themselves. They come in here with one boxy, now they have 6 boxy, and a poster bus. I wanted to understand the kind of money some of these people are making. They don't want to talk about it, but I know that they're making good money. And then beyond that, we've also had a revolution. You have Airbnb, which is perhaps the most exciting transformation happening right now in many of our towns and communities. You know, in 2017, Carol, we had 59,500 Airbnb guests, give or take, in Jamaica. 2017. I remember Minister Bartlett and I and the team went to meet with the Airbnb executives at their headquarters in California to discuss Jamaica and its growth. And they felt that Jamaica would be a massive source of growth for Airbnb. And it turned out to be true. Last year, we had over 800,000 people who stayed in that Airbnb in Jamaica, a 1,300% increase over 2017. And we also have 32 billion in revenues that went to the pockets of Airbnb owners and operators. This is significant for our economy, and you need to understand how you can support that. So what we see is also the democratization of tourism, where it's moved beyond the traditional hotels and the villas into apartments, condos, but regular houses from Trenchtown to the Grill to Portland to the North Coast to Flankers in St. James. This is the reality of the world that we live in today. So this growth has also fueled career and business opportunities in property management, housekeeping, management, maintenance, guest services, home design, local guide, content creation, digital marketing, the whole works. I have a friend who was in the Jamaica Constabulary Force, a young police officer who left the force and decided, just ended up helping to fix an apartment that was an Airbnb apartment. The person who owned the apartment said, you know, I have 2 other apartments in this building. Can you just also fix issues that I have at those 2 apartments? He's now fixing over 20 apartments that are connected to the Airbnb platform. He has now employed 2 persons to work alongside him. He has bought a small bus with equipment and the appropriate tools, and he much more than where it is now. So I wanted to look, my friends, at those opportunities. Somebody was in the police force, moved on, and the next thing you know, fixing somebody's apartment. I know he has about 20 apartments that he needs to sort issues out for, whether it's a broken faucet, a challenge with the toilets, problem in the bedroom, lighting issues, whatever. People hire persons to manage that sort of thing. So I wanted to think in that vein. So this is why I know I have a call for entrepreneurship. It's a critical moment for young entrepreneurs. Tourism isn't just about getting a job, it's about building a business. And there are dozens of tourism support services that remain underexploited. Villa and guest house property management is in demand. People, a lot of Jamaicans who live abroad, they buy a property in Jamaica. They really just want somebody reliable to manage their property. They make sure the bills are paid, the water is running, that the furniture is maintained, that the lights, just ensure that the place is okay. And they need more reliable property management services for things like that. Food delivery services, big business. A friend who is actually doing quite well in that work, what she does is literally supplying the villas with food and drinks, and so guests will come. So we have these guests who will come from all over the world. Some of them have very specific tastes, and they need a service that they can rely on. And that owner of the villa will say, you know what, I'm going to put you in touch with Miguel, and Miguel will then say, okay, what is it that they need? They say they need this kind of salmon, they need this. That's specialized stuff. They don't want to come to Jamaica running around looking for stuff. We have a lot of celebrities who come to Jamaica who have, I remember one huge Hollywood celebrity who's just addicted to KFC. And every time around here, somebody has to go to the KFC, buy 3 buckets of chicken, barbecue, spicy, and original. And they're very specific about it and the kind of cuts that they want. And that person had a job supplying these Hollywood A-list actors and was making hundreds of US dollars a day. Because they also wanted juicy patties. And they had these verses. So I want you to understand the careers that are there. The other one is destination weddings and event planning. I mean, these wedding people, I will tell you something, the kind of money they're making, it's not normal, I'm telling you, it's not normal. Photography, videography services, landscaping is a huge deal, transportation and logistics, agricultural supply, of course, digital marketing and content creation. A lot of people on Airbnb, they need people to take proper photos of their apartments, and need people to take proper videos so they can put up online and promote. That's an opportunity right there. Website, app development, HR and staffing is becoming a big deal now because everybody is struggling to find people who not only can work but can actually do the job. It's becoming a challenge, and you have all sorts of consultants popping up now who can address some of these problems. I know Hart knows exactly what I'm talking about. Language and cultural interpretation services. I'm sorry, I mean, I know we speak English, and that's great, and English is the language of business, but we need more of you need to learn some Spanish.